Let's call it. Book it. Jake Paul, Canelo. That will be the final nail in the coffin for boxing. It'll be officially done. Boxing will be officially done. Because here's what's going to happen. See, most of these boxers, what I realized when we do the mashups or the cross-up, what occurs is usually it's a complete novice where they have 0-0 fights and then they fight the best ever within like the actual competition. So, like for example, Floyd McGregor. McGregor 0-0, Floyd 50 fights. Somehow McGregor got pushed, not McGregor, but somehow Floyd got pushed to the 9th round and he lost a lot of rounds, the early rounds against McGregor. We go to Tyson and Francis. Francis beat the fucking shit out of Tyson. Tyson won just barely because the judges are corrupt and blah, blah, blah. You can maybe make it wish-washy, but dog, the greatest heavyweight of all time, which is supposed to be Tyson Fury, he should never even had a close chance of losing to a novice. So how that happened? So now we got the true dilemma. Jake Paul, Canelo. Because guess what? Canelo knows I'm not selling no fucking pay-per-views. Nobody wanted to watch that Charlo fight. It was fucking horrendous. The one time Canelo tried to actually be real, and he fought that Bevo character, got his ass kicked, and he said, "You know what? Fuck that. Let me just figure out payday. Let me be the payday. Yeah. Canelo's like, I want easy paydays. Fuck that. Because if I keep losing, it's over for me. I can't keep taking all these losses." So then he fought that John, whatever that guy is, that fucking bum. Then he fought Charlo. I'm trying to think. He fought some other guy in between. But anyway, all just duds of fights. Nobody really gave a shit. They did this whole spectacle thing, but just fucking retarded. So now he's looking like, okay, I got to get out the game. Because Showtime's not fucking buying us no more. Who can I go to for promotion? Top Rank? I don't think he's in Top Rank. So who does he fight? The only name that Canelo can get to that's worth a damn, Jake Paul. Jake Paul, you got to bow down to Jake Paul. Here's the thing. Jake Paul's like, fuck it. I want to be the A side. Look, Canelo, you could be the A side. I just want to prove a point that this boxing shit is fake. All of it's fake. And so now when you start to do the real math on it, Jake Paul probably walking around 180. So he drops to 160. Canelo probably 165 realistically. And he either blows up or goes down. But they sit at the right weight class to basically go battle each other. And so the financial incentive is, dude, I have to fight this guy because who else can Canelo fight that makes a fucking difference? You gonna go fight Benavidez? For the boxing fans, dog, we already saw what happened. He got dusted up by Bivol. So nobody cares about that Benavidez fight except for the hardcore fans of boxing, which are they don't even pay money. They don't even want to really see that. And you got, once again, do the math and understand. Hardcore fans, the real hardcore guys that really study this shit, they're small in between. Like, I'm a hardcore fan, and we make up like 10% of the market. The other 90% of the market are just people that just want to get drunk and watch a big name and have a party, and that's like the background. So you got to juxtapose. Canelo tried to capture greatness by trying to go fight Bivol, which I got to respect him. And Bivol beat the brakes off him. And Canelo's like, well, okay, what else am I going to do? I cleared out the division. I'm going to keep finding these young killers that want to come get a name off of me. Because if I get beat by somebody in my weight class, I then are no longer the guy. I have to pass the torch. And then from then on, they're going to treat me like a fucking piece of shit. And that's the reality for boxing. That's what you see when, once again, once you're 0 goals or once you lose the next real killer, you basically get tossed aside. And they just start feeding you to the wolves and everybody tries to eat a name off of you. That's the reality of boxing. That really is. Because once again, you guys don't embrace the idea of losing. So the idea of losing is unacceptable in boxing. Thus, you get shitty fights, shitty fight. And then at some point in time, it becomes ridiculous to the point like, okay, he has to fight this guy. And once again, boxing it's all self-inflicted. But this is why Jake Paul fighting Canelo is essentially going to be the death blow, the nail in the coffin for fucking boxing, period. Because here's why. See, with Conor and Francis, there was a built-in excuse that they're actually combat athletes. They spend a lifetime training in full combat, known as MMA. Jake Paul, which the boxing community does not want to respect him, they always consider him a YouTuber. And so if a YouTuber is able to take Canelo to the distance or give him a great fight, or even worse, if he beats him, if he beats him, what is boxing's excuse? And here's why Jake Paul is actually more likely to beat Canelo as opposed to Francis and McGregor. Jake Paul has experience now. He's not coming in blind. He's not coming in one fight, two fight. I think he's at this point he has fought 6, 7 fights now. So, and he's actually fought against pretty decent guys. Anderson Silva was the actual defendant to win. Anderson Silva beat Cesar Julio Chavez Jr. And say what the fuck you want to say that he doesn't take it serious. The guy was a champion. Was he not a world champion? What's his name? Cesar Julio Chavez Jr. was a world champion in boxing. He had a title. And he got beat by a fucking old Anderson Silva. Old Anderson Silva. We're not even talking about Prime Silva. Prime Silva would probably dust his ass up. And they're going to say, oh, he was on coke, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That's no excuses. I can give... Dude, Anderson Silva can be drunk as shit, fight a boxer in MMA, and there ain't no way he's losing. So scratch that. And once again, it's all boxers' fault because most boxers don't want to take the chance of actually going into MMA to prove that they actually have an effective combat art. But now we're starting to learn boxing is completely fake. The shambles over. The sham is over. So now, if Jake Paul fights Canelo, which I predict because Canelo needs to get a payday and he knows the way the game works, either I fight a killer that's going to drop me and get me out the fucking game, or I can go get a payday and get the fuck out like Floyd. And guess what? When they fought, Mayweather taught more. He taught Canelo a great lesson, more so than any other fighter. Listen, this is all fake. See, they're going to call me the best ever because I beat you when you were a young, inexperienced dude. And they're going to be like, oh, well, Floyd Mayweather, he beat Canelo. And that name is always going to be on the table for the rest of life on the record book. Which is not even fair because that young Canelo is not even close to the guy that he was now. If they fought back when Canelo was actually in his prime, Canelo probably beats Floyd, to be honest with you. But once again, we got to blame Mayweather. Actually, no, I don't blame Mayweather. I take that back. See, the essence of the boxing bullshit goes way back, way before Floyd. Way back Floyd. We got to take it to Jack Johnson. See, a lot of you niggas don't know your history in boxing. Let me explain something. Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, and the original Floyd Mayweather, the original villain of fucking boxing, he was taught in prison or whatever how to fucking box, and he started learning how to like slip, move, do all like the basics that nobody else was doing. Everybody else just slugging out hitting like fucking idiots. Jack Johnson actually learned how to fight, and he went around chasing the white dude, Jim Jeffries, or some white dude calling him a cracker, and then at some point the white dude finally snapped and said, you know what, fuck it, I'm fighting this guy. So they set up a big ass fight, I think in Australia somewhere, and Jack Johnson beat the fucking brakes off that boy, and he would knock him out, keep him up, let him stand up, and then beat the shit out of him again, stand him up. I think he did that for down there 20, 30 minutes. He beat the fuck out of him. And guess what? All the Negroes, they all cheered, yay, Jack Johnson, he did it for us. Now we have a chance to break into boxing. You know what Jack Johnson said? Fuck you niggers. I ain't giving you guys a goddamn shit. Which is hilarious. Because Jack Johnson knew, look, I'm good, but then there's some guys coming, bro. I'm not fucking with these guys. Let me just keep beating up white boys for checks. And so Jack Johnson, with the rest of his career, I think for down near almost a decade plus as the heavyweight champion, walking around, driving cars fast, fucking white women, not giving a goddamn about what anybody had to say until he got fucking caught slipping by some nigga. Not a nigga, but a white dude. And then he lost the title, and then it was all downhill from there. But essentially, he started the fad of not fighting the best out there and fighting just purely for the checks, purely for the prize, which is what they're actually fighting for. We got to stop making this mythology about the belts and all the other lunacy. Because once again, boxing, so stupid. Why are you guys so stupid? You guys did this to yourself. If you guys would have had one belt, you could have actually have a legitimate sport. But you guys have 4 world champions. How the fuck do you have 4 world champions in the same division? And then you have like the smaller, like the European title, the American title, the Western. Dude, boxing's belts are so retarded when you really stop and think about it. And it's amazing how this con has been ran for so long. Which makes it even funnier that in the age of the internet now, we have finally acquired the knowledge and wisdom to foresee, oh shit, this is all fake. And once again, blame Mayweather. See, boxing had a very strict adherence to, which was We don't let any outsiders come in. They were like karate, fake, like Aikido, all these other fake arts. Boxing didn't want to have anybody actually test, is boxing real. So they have this idea like the boxer, and you go through the amateurs. They even put the bullshit in the Olympics. And so you get into professional boxing. It's not tournament style. It's fucking just you fight a guy. They line you up. They have groomers and shit. And so they created this mythology where, oh, dude, he's the best because he has the 4 titles and then the 4. Like, and so once again, you got to be reminded, human beings are very stupid. So you put the shiny belt on somebody and say they're fighting for a belt. And anybody can understand that they're fighting for a belt. It's just very simple. That's the prize, is the fucking belt and then some money. But they can't just say we're fighting for money. So we have to put the belt as a way to like distract you that they're really just fighting for cash. That's it. Which is what the essence of manhood is. That's what you're supposed to be doing, fighting for cash. And so anyway, because of that fucking cash grab and the illusion, we have finally get to a tipping point, which was, we're not there yet. We're almost there. Floyd, yeah, once again, I gotta say, Floyd and McGregor was the tipping point to the downhill slide of boxing. That was the end of the game. So that was the precipice. I thought it was Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd, but no, there was still the illusion that they're both boxers. But when they joined those two worlds, and we saw McGregor put the work to Floyd, actually make him fight, we were like, wow, this is surprising. I was not expecting this. And then from there, the illusion of boxing slowly started to dwindle, because then we had Jake Paul, the Jake Paul experiment. Now we just had the Francis experiment. And now we're going to have a Jake Paul Canelo experiment. And that's going to be the final death blow, because we're going to watch, hypothetically, the cash cow of boxing get his ass mopped up by a fucking YouTuber. And you might think, oh, man, that's fucked up, man. No, man, that's the way the game works, because boxing has done this to self. It's all self-inflicted. Because if boxers want to have metal on metal, steel on steel, fighting the actual best that actually exists, they would be much better at boxing. But the problem is they don't fight the best. So because they don't fight the best, nobody ever gets better. They stay all mediocre and shitty. And when you take actual athletes that have real combat experience and you just put the gloves on and they just go fight, and they don't have to worry about elbows, they don't have to worry about kicks, they don't have to worry about any of this shit. Bro, they're just coming in to dust your shit up, because they have to worry about so much. All you do is reduce all the variables to where they get to just focus their hands. And then the boxers, they don't have the ability to think outside of like just the hands. They don't know what an elbow's like. They don't know the different ranges. So MMA brain, when they're going into boxing, they know where they're safer at. They have a better idea of range, target, what can hit them, what they cannot, because they know, look, I got to worry, like with certain things, I got to worry about kicks. If I don't have to worry about kicks, I can get in way deeper on you and really fucking throw punches off you. I can get in way more power because I have these big ass gloves on. And so that's what we're going to start to realize is, wow, boxing is not actually real. All there is striking. That's all there ever existed. They're striking without elbows. They're striking without, and what we call boxing, which is just two hands, it doesn't mean anything. It's just striking. Striking, that's all there is. It's striking with different rule sets, different things that allow you to fucking throw other things. But now we have entered this funny stage, because all the boxers they're waking up like, wow, my whole life works. Everything I ever tried to do, fucking pointless. I think Fury's going to go into depression, though. Or he's going to do one thing. He's going to say, fuck it. Let me try an MMA fight. Let me see what happens if I really got it. Let me see if what I know is actually useful. But, man, I appreciate you guys for listening. Jake Paul versus Canelo is going to be the final death blow of boxing. And you know what I say? Salutations. R.I.P. boxing. You fucking suck.